What do you think about some people, and I've seen the likes of Manasseh Azuri Awene post that, hey, henceforth I'm going to do more cash. And other people will talk to you and say, okay, so if I have to pay someone, I'm not going to pay upfront like 500 cedis. I can spread it over a week and just explain to the person that I'm going to do this. Is that patriotic, especially considering the economic times we find ourselves in? The point is that, like it or not, we have a government and they must find money from somewhere to run the affairs of the state. But the other end of the conversation is, what have you done so far with my taxpayers' money? How do you weigh the two? How do you reconcile them?
I don't think trying to avoid the E-levy tax should be labeled as unpatriotic in any way. We would all want to avoid any extra expense if we can have the dispensation too, and it doesn't make anybody less patriotic than the other. It's just making someone more prudent in terms of the way he or she handles their transactions. And the truth be told, that is what is going to happen. There's going to be a little reversal to a more cash-based transactions. You see, when those of us in Accra sit in our ivory towers and make decisions and take a lot of things for granted, these are some of the issues that happen. Imagine, for example, if you go to even hospitals in areas around Accra, Kaswa, and the rest, you are not even going into the hinterlands. You will see how people struggle to pay hospital bills of even 100 cedis. And we are talking lots of people. This is not just maybe 1 in 100 or something. In fact, about 80 over 100 people. Even paying small bills of that amount is hard. Now imagine they have to pay a bill and then somebody has to send them the money. And then that person is taxed, and then they are paying the bill and are also taxed, especially via mobile money, because that's how people get money for emergencies these days. So this means that a lot of these things are going to stop, and then people are going to start finding ways to actually handle everything through cash transactions. We are going to revert to a point where some people will insist that if you come to my shop, don't pay by Momo. If you pay by Momo, I won't accept. Right. And quite a lot of us...
Because the people know that if you pay by Momo, there will be deductions later on, and they want to avoid that.
Exactly. Right. And that is what is going to happen at a lot of vendors where paying by Momo has become the norm. It is going to happen, and it's quite unfortunate that we have decided to shoot ourselves in the foot just to try and sort of balance something or the other. I think this is a decision the government will come to regret very badly, and it even makes it poor optics when yesterday, for example, I saw a video in the evening that some people were dancing and saying it was the E-levy dance, and they were rejoicing over it.
Right.
I mean, that is in extremely bad taste, and whoever thought that it was beautiful to do that will live to regret it. Not because anybody is going to, let me just issue a disclaimer, not because anybody is going to issue violence against that person, because these days when you are talking, if you don't take time, somebody will come and misconstrue your words.
Right.
They will live to regret it because it was politically wrong to do something like that. At a time when we need humility to look at how we will challenge the nation's resources.
Right.
At a point where we need unity, where each and every one of us has to do their little bit and sacrifice. It is horrible to see the visuals of people dancing and calling something an E-levy dance, when we know that we are overtaxing, overburdening Ghanaians who are already suffering under the huge burden of inflation and the current world crisis. And we haven't even talked about the fact that this crisis is even escalating to the point where it's going to affect our food security, as well as other aspects of our agricultural output. And we are still going to impose extra levies, and we are dancing and we are rejoicing about it, when the common man has not seen salary reviews and is struggling to figure out how they can even manage their homes. So I think that we have to be very careful, and those in power and those who make decisions have to be very careful about how they appear in public and the kinds of things they do in public, because it's going to have repercussions on them.
All right.